Alright, I'm going to attempt to give a quick rundown here on these early Fox body rear shocks for use on an early L/N body GM. These are 8041 1026 Sports. And so basically, if you read through the Coney thread, the sticky thread on Beretta.net, at some point a guy posts that he discovered through looking at catalogs and whatnot that early Fox body rears will fit on the early L/N body with very little modification. This guy says the bottom bolt is bigger, and so you got to drill your axle out and use a 1/2 inch bolt, but otherwise the upper stud fits right in our stock mount. That was not the case for me. So here's a stock upper mount. Let's flip this stock shock around here, and you can pretty much see by looking that that's a lot skinnier and that's a lot fatter, and this mount absolutely does not fit on there. So I started wondering what the heck's going on here, what kind of solutions can I come up with for this. And then I read back through the thread, and apparently on the Saab, the original ones that you'd use were the Saab 9000 or something rear shocks. And according to that method, you actually drill out this upper mount a little bit just to fit this. And so that's an option, I guess. But it's still a rubber mount. And I got to thinking, rather than drill all the way through this thick, it's a metal bushing that's that thick, instead of drilling through all that, I wonder if there's some way that I could mimic this setup that's for the, I'm assuming the Fox body just has a slot there, that these bushings keep this thing centered in that, and it's, if you measure that diameter right there, it's 7/8. And so I kept thinking, I mean, if you just had some, I don't know, 1/4 inch plate or 3/16 plate, you could make something that was the same shape as this, with 2 holes in it for bolts right here, and then just cut a hole in the middle of it for this, 7/8. And so I kept thinking, I don't even know how you would cut a 7/8 hole in a thick plate. I'm not a machinist. I don't have any easy way to do that. I guess maybe a step drill or something. And then I got to thinking, what about a lawnmower blade that's got a 7/8 arbor on it? So I started looking around to see if I had anything like that, and I didn't. And so I kind of ruled that out. But then I got to thinking, there's just a progression here you're going to notice. I got to thinking, I don't really like these rubber bushings anyway. And so, oh, wait a minute. Don't I have some end links, some old style end links that use poly bushings? And the answer to that was yes, I do. However, these are a 5/8. When you put these together, like that, that's for a 5/8 hole plate. So, okay, now we're really talking. I could surely find a lawnmower blade that's got a 5/8 hole in it. I think that's what my Gravely blades are to begin with. And so I found a junk old set of blades, and I came up with this. So it did in fact fit this bore perfectly. So I basically traced around the stock mount, took it out there to the car and placed it under it and marked these holes, drilled those out, and then dressed it somewhat and painted it black. And we have a setup that looks like this. And so now we got poly bushings. Oh, and also I had to drill these out a little bit. I mean, obviously it's easier to drill out polyurethane to fit this bigger bore than it is 1/4 inch plate steel or this whole thing here. So these are my new shock mounts. I'm pretty sure that'll just go right up in there, and use some, I'll probably get some 5/8/16 grade 8 bolts for those two, and then I'll do away with this rubber mount and have poly. Having said all that, I did in fact drill out one of these just to see what it was like, and so that fitting on there, you can kind of see we're pretty much mimicking the factory height and all that, even though these are shorter than the factory shocks. Who cares? It's basically a near perfect solution, and we've got polyurethane bushings now. So that's what I opted to do. I know a lot of guys are going to say I'm an idiot for not just spending 5 minutes and drilling these out and just using the stock mounts, but I kind of like this. I'm really happy with this little deal here. So both of those plates with poly bushings, and that'll go right up in there. And then, like I said, drilling out these bottoms, that's not going to be that's going to be pretty easy. So that's my solution for using Fox body rear shocks on an early L/N body GM product. That looks a little bit better.
What's wrong with those?
With what?
Those bolts?
Nothing. I'm using them.
Those are perfect. Damn.